Hi there, this is Shinjini from moderngypsy.in and welcome back to my channel. So, if you've been following along on my YouTube videos recently, you know that we just finished a series of videos on working with a neutral color palette. So today's video is going to be very different after that. A lot of colorful colors, mark making and etching, and just playing with colors, expression, and abstraction. So when I started this page, I already had a stencil wipe off that I'd kind of cleaned off a stencil on this page. And I just started building it up around that. I wasn't too concerned about incorporating the stencil. If I could, that would be great. If it went behind the layers, that was all right. It would just add to some interest. And then I started painting with some of my favorite colors. So you'll see all my color explosion coming back. And a lot of finger painting. I love painting with that palette knife, so there's a lot of that, and just a very playful exploration. So let's talk a little bit about abstraction. And the kind of abstraction that I really enjoy is more in the realm of expressive abstracts. So it's simply an expression of how I'm feeling in the moment, of what colors I'm drawn to, of how my hand wants to move. So some days they're big, bold strokes, some days they're more considered, and some days they're more scribbly, other days they're organic, sometimes very occasionally actually they are very controlled images and shapes that come up in my expressive abstracts. But that's the point with expressive abstracts. I really think that it's more about really expressing yourself on the page in a way that feels good to you. At the end of the day, an expressive abstract, and actually any page in your art journal really, and in fact I'd say that all the art that you make first needs to make sense to you. If it makes sense to the visitor or the viewer, that's great. If it doesn't, that's all right too, because we all know that art appeals to different people in different ways. Right? We all like different kinds of art. We are all drawn to different kinds of artists and different kinds of paintings. So just letting yourself be free and loose on the page and following your curiosity is an excellent way to just really get in touch with your own voice and your own creative expression and your own emotions, especially when you go into a more abstracted realm. Although of course you can do it with any kind of art, but for me it's in the abstract intuitive play that I really drop in and listen to myself. So that's what this page is, just a lot of fun, playing with my supplies, listening to what I want to do next, trying different things, and yeah, just play, experiment, and follow your own threads of interest as you go along. So some of these moves that I'm making, some of the tools that I'm using might spark interest, might spark your interest, and then go experiment with them. Probably just seeing the way I paint will inspire you to pick up your paints and start playing, and that is brilliant. love it when that happens, when people reach out to me and tell me that watching me has inspired them to pick up their sketchbooks or their paint brushes and get back in touch with their creative selves. I think that's the most beautiful thing, um, that can happen. So enjoy this video. I'm gonna put the rest of it to music, and I'll come back at the end probably with a few final words. So we're coming towards the end of the painting, and I just wanted to say a few things about how you can bring an expressive abstract together. So I know that often bringing an abstract together, making it make some kind of sense to you first, always you first, um, can be a little bit difficult. It can be a little bit challenging. So it's perfectly all right to take a little break and have a little think about the kind of focal images or the kind of imagery that shows up a lot in your art, and see if incorporating some of that will help to bring this piece together. So in my case, this little botanical is something that I use in a lot of my artwork. Whether I'm doing abstracts or if I'm doing intuitive paintings or figurative abstraction, whatever, it shows up quite often. And it did match my mood, this little from that background that really looks like a lot of life has been lived, a lot of life has happened here, and from there this little plant is taking root and growing. So it's so what I wanted to say really is that take a little bit of a break when you find yourself getting stuck and unsure of how to finish an abstract. Is just take a little bit of a break, look at some of your previous imagery, some of the kind of shapes and symbols that you really like to draw. Have a think about what this entire expressive abstract session meant to you, and then how you can use a focal image to convey that. So what this image conveys to me may be slightly different from what it conveys to you, and that's all right. That's what art is. We all come to it with our own experiences and our own ways of viewing the world. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this art journal spread come to life. I hope you enjoyed some of these thoughts on expressive abstracts, and I hope that you will pick up your journal and your paints and your brushes and just have some fun playing in your art journal. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, and I'll see you again next time. Until then, take care and keep creating.